Got the new governor gear in.
Alright, so here's my, as you can tell, decently modified Traxxas Slash 4x4. From the outside, you can already see the different stuff I've done to it. So this is the original body that came with it. It's pretty beat up. We've fixed it multiple times. It's kind of impressive. It is still in one piece, kind of. But so right here we've got Proline Trenchers. These are the 2.8s. These tires are big. I mean, that's my hand. So I actually got a tape measure right here. So these suckers are 4 3/4 inches tall, compared to the stock, which is probably somewhere around 3.5, 4. I don't know, but these things are wide. I mean, what's that? 3 3/4 inches wide? Yeah. And these things have some wicked traction. Oh my goodness. It is insane what these things do on pavement. I can be doing half throttle, since I changed the gear ratio, not as much, but I can go in somewhere between quarter, half throttle, punch it, and it'll pretty much just flip backwards onto its roof. It's kind of insane. We got the Proline, we call them screw-on body hold downs, adjustable height for my Silverado body there, which is really beat up. But wow, look at all the leaves. Sorry about the dog. But yeah, this thing's been through a lot. It's kind of amazing it's still in one piece. So you can tell I don't drive it very nicely. You can just imagine when I was still learning how to drive this thing handles not very well. So I've got sway bars. I don't remember what brand those are. I've got the Traxxas aftermarket fan, and this happened to be another fan that I had that actually moves more air than the one that was on it. It's a hot racing fan that fits right in there, and then I mocked this one up. Got a couple different ways, but apparently that fell off. So other than that, I've got, I believe it's an 11-tooth steel pinion gear and a steel spur gear with its own slipper clutch assembly. That's basically, it doesn't slip, because if I have it to where it'll slip, it'll just always keep slipping with these massive tires in it. It's just not fun. So it's pretty much locked up. I believe those gears were both Robinson Racing parts, but here's the batteries I use. They're Venom. They're 3S LiPos, 5,000 milliamp hours, and these have a 50C continuous discharge rating with a max of 100, which is insane, because I've had a couple different variations of these, more discharge each time, and these things have some punch to them. I originally had a 30 and a 35, and I went to these, and there's a difference, trust me. But these are good batteries. They ran a big sale a couple years ago on these, so I got 4 of them for like the price of 2. and because these are not cheap batteries at all, they're hard case 3S lipos. But actually, I forget to storage charge these things all the time, and these things have been sitting since like October, and it's now March, I think was the last time I drove it, and I broke it. Broke the axle that I repaired in a couple of videos back, and the pinion gear came off again. I'll wait, keep going where I'm at. But I don't think I'd storage charge these things, and they are still good. It's not even warm, and I've been ripping it around decent. I've driven it harder, but biggest thing is keeping this ESC cool, because this thing would always overheat with these tires until I went to get a new pinion after I broke a second or third steel one, and they're like, oh, you need to be running this smaller 11 tooth rather than the 14 that I was with these massive tires, and that made a huge difference. It doesn't overheat continuously, and honestly it suits a little better. It will just go really fast. It was I literally could not go full speed because it would just flip over and these tires would just balloon. So they go from about this big to like this big. It's nuts. This was like the second or third motor this thing's had. This ESC third or fourth, I think. As you can see, I think I got this one last spring. It's just the standard VXL 3S. I replaced the servo a couple years ago. It's the second one it's had. If you can't tell by the controller, this is one of the older ones before the TQI controllers came out, so I don't remember. Shoot, this thing's gotta be 10 years old, maybe? I don't know. A couple of years ago, I tore it apart. Literally every bolt, every last thing. I tore it apart, cleaned everything with like Dawn dish soap. That stuff is amazing. It gets grease and grime out of everything with a brush. Just went at it in the sink, and it was nice to have everything clean, but I think I'm going to need new springs soon. I'm not sure. Maybe they're fine. Probably should rebuild the shocks again, but after I realized it was always popping wheelies, I pulled the bumper off, and I bought these two pieces. I'm trying to think if there's one more that goes with them, but so this part is a Wheelie Bar Mount for a Stampede 4x4 VXL. 4x4 VXL probably doesn't matter, they're pretty much the same other than the motor, but so it bolts right up to the Slash rear end, and then I had bought a wheelie bar, but I just ended up returning it and stole this one off my dad's T-Max, which is over there, because I tried to do some work to it, but I wasn't happy. So I'll try and get that working again soon. Other than that, I don't think there's much else I've done to it. Oh, I've got the Traxxas steel axles, because I was always breaking plastic ones. They're not cheap. Oh my goodness, it is insane. But since I've had them, I've only ever broke two. One, I think the year I got them, I think sand got in one of the front ones and busted the U-joint, and then I think this was the other one I busted last fall. Sand, I think the boot cracked and sand got in it. So just buy a rebuild kit. It's not super cheap, but it's cheaper than buying an axle, and then you can just take it apart, put it back together like I showed you in the one video. I think that's it. So as you can see, this thing sits really high for a Slash. This was pre-low CG chassis, so at the lowest point in the middle of the chassis it's like 2 5/8 clearance, which is pretty good. I'm pretty sure I think that's about the same as a stock Stampede 4x4. Because I originally wanted one of those, but I ended up buying this for my dad when he got an X-Max. My little 1/16 scale E-Revo's kind of just sitting in there because I need to fix the steering. Because FYI, if you ever get one, those steering gears strip out on like every single one. You gotta get steel ones. It's kind of annoying. Other than that, I say a lot, don't I? I need to do some more work to this to get it back up working again. Let's kind of give you an idea of what it looks like. Looks pretty sweet. It doesn't sit quite that high when it's on it, but yeah, this thing is tough. Traxxas. I've had complaints, but considering how I drive it, can't really complain. No complaints about these batteries. I like them. Done me well. They're a couple years old now, and they're still doing good. I've got 4 of them. One's given me some issues in the past, but I came out of it, so just keep using them and storage charge them if you remember to, and they'll last. Oh, the body. So what we do, my dad and I, so we use Shugu and I don't even remember what it's called, mesh for like plaster, drywall, or whatever it is. I'm no expert on that. And just, it basically makes this thing super strong. Because I mean, yeah. Dun, dun, dun. Alright, so I'm guessing this and the video of me driving it around will be 2 separate videos. This one will probably come second. I don't know. But other than that, here it is. And all of its awesomeness. Even though sometimes I hate it because it's a pain in the butt. Because I'm always working on it. I thought last year I was done working on it because I made it unbreakable. Apparently not. Maybe this year will be a better year. So far we're off to an okay start. Alright, well, comment, like, subscribe. See you in the next one.